right, in my bag I've got my 2 quilts for the night. Should be plenty warm with a forecasted low of, I think it's 24 degrees, wind chill of 17. The 2 quilts I'm bringing out should be more than enough. I'll probably end up stripping off most of my layers like I usually do, sleeping just in my boxers or some shorts because I'll be plenty warm. Let's get these up on the hammock. Zip up my top quilt to get my foot box all ready. All right, we're ready for tonight. Let's take a closer look at the quilts. For my under quilt, you can see how much loft this thing has. This is a negative 20 degree Loco Libra Carolina Reaper, black and orange. Draft collars on both ends, so once I get tucked in there at night, I'll cinch it up a little bit, tuck those in, keep any drafts out. It does have primary and secondary suspension. I've never actually had to use the secondary. The primary keeps it for me in exactly where I need it, with no adjustments, so I probably will be able to get in the hammock and not even really adjust it at all. My top quilt tonight is, that's upside down, Enlightened Equipment. This is the Rev Hole Asian. This is the one that has the hole in it for you to wear it. It's kind of like a poncho. There's that hole. You can see the seam there. So you can actually wear this like a poncho or serape when you're not using it. It is a 0 degree rated, Digicam on one side, burnt orange on the other. And it does have the nice foot box. Here we go. You can see the zipper from the end. It actually stops right here, and there's a set of snaps. So that makes your foot box without having your zipper potentially come undone. And then the end also snaps, but it also has a draw cord. And what I do is I just tuck the shot cord into the foot box, so it's just in there with my feet, so it's not dangling out. So all of this is on my Wilderness Logics Night Owl black hammock. I do have my Dream Hammock gear sling right here, which I can slide back and forth on prussics across my ridgeline. Right now, all I have in there is the bag for my quilts, but tonight I'll have my sleep socks, gloves, and my charger for my phone. And like I said, I can slide that up and down my ridgeline to get it wherever I need. And also hang my little lantern from the ridgeline for tonight. I am going to attempt tonight without a tarp. Like I said, we're only forecasted to get down to 24 degrees, so I should be plenty warm. Looking at my suspension on this side, I do have a whoopee suspension with tree huggers, and it works fine on this side. But when you get to my other side, this tree is a little large because it's actually 2 trees together. And so even if I get my tree huggers from my whoopee through there, the tree's just slightly too big. So I run one of my Atlas straps around the tree down, then I actually just bypass my other tree hugger, loop it around on there, and go straight for my whoopee hooked to the Atlas suspension with a carabiner. So it works just fine. This way keeps my feet slightly above my head, which keeps me from moving or sliding down to the hammock when I'm sleeping. So we'll take a quick peek and get in the hammock right now. Tuck my quilt all the way to my foot end so I can get out of the way to get in. Make sure I've got my actual hammock in my hand so I don't just sit down in my underquilt and crash to the ground. All right. Keep that bad boy in there. Shake off as much snow as I can. And like I said, these quilts are so warm, I typically end up taking off my base layers, so I end up just sleeping in boxers or gym shorts, sometimes a t-shirt. Yeah, they are warm, and I can already tell. I can feel this guy underneath my butt. It's quite warm. Now, anytime I see posts or people are asking why is a quilt better than a sleeping bag, getting in a hammock, for me, this is the main reason. I'm not the most flexible, so trying to get into my mummy bag, flail around, get it zipped up with me trying to be inside it just doesn't work. With the quilts, your underquilt is in place. Like I said, I've had this one in the same place for a few trips, and I haven't had to adjust it at all. So what's nice, I go to get in, I already zipped up my foot box, so I simply bring that down here with my feet still out. Now, my feet are all the way in the foot box. The rest of my quilt is just laying here. All I have to do is flip my feet up. Lift that quilt a little bit. Now I'm good to go. My feet are all tucked in here. I can take this guy, fold it up, tuck it around my shoulders, or what's great about this quilt is it does have 2 snaps. I can snap it together. This hat was not a good choice. Put it over my head and my shoulders, and then just lay back. I've got my quilt all around me. Can't even see me. My quilt's around me. There's not a single part of me that's exposed except my face. And I know some people say if you cover your face, you get too much condensation. That's never really bothered me. This quilt is long enough. I can actually pull it up and cover up my whole head. With my coat on, that gets hot real fast. That's why I end up stripping down, usually just to some shorts or something, because I get so warm. Then getting out, pull your feet out. You're done. Take a little closer look as I get tucked up in there. I'm gonna show you a little bit better how the underquilt just kind of wraps up without my top quilt on. It's much easier to see. So my hammock has these knotty mods. So over here by my feet, up here by my head, I can tighten it up a little bit, and that gives me a little bit better box where my shoulder goes right there. And then if I just pull my quilt around, there we go. You can see my shoulder is right here. My quilt is right there with my shoulder. Get this out of the way a little better. There we go. And same thing with my right shoulder. You can see that it's right up there tucked around. So when I actually get into my top quilt, it wraps all the way around my shoulder. There's no exposed areas. So when I'm sleeping, I look like this. Now, if you don't want to risk getting your quilt all snowy, you can also just get in your hammock and now folding it up. There, my feet are all in the foot box right there. I've got all this excess right here because it's long enough, like I said, to go over my head. So if I snap this little snap, put it over my head, tuck it around my shoulders. Lay back down. Still got lots of excess. This is nice. Sometimes I just kind of wad my hands up in it. Gets my fingers nice and warm. I don't know if you can see my toes down there. They're still inside both the underquilt and the top quilt in that foot box. I'm just super snug. Just like this. Ooh, it's got a nice sparkly layer of frost on it. See that? Ooh, it's gonna be a nice warm night. All right, it is currently 27.9 on my outer, and 28.9 in the inside temp, which is a little bit warmer because I just stuck it in my pocket a second ago. So this will let me know how warm I am inside on my quilts overnight compared to the outside temperature. Stayed very, very warm last night. I did end up shedding my little jacket and all my other layers down to my shorts and t-shirt, and switched to my channels. So got down to 30.7 and 80.6 inside my quilts with this in my pocket. Plenty warm. And there's the max. So maximum inside at one point in time it was 90 degrees in there. Maybe that was up when it got, could have been up kind of between my legs or something in my pocket. And then the minimum, so it did actually get down to 28.4, and the coldest it was inside was 80.6. That's plenty warm considering 2 quilts. You can see again the frost on there. It was decently cold out here. I mean, if I flip my quilts out, it get cold really fast, but yeah, got me nice and toasty warm. There's all the frost up there. Yep. -20 local Libre Carolina Reaper, and 0 degree Enlightened Equipment Rev Holation. Doing their thing. Keep me warm.